I was born at the very end of an era of the world's most important and iconic black metal history ever created.
Of course, I am talking about the very end of the 90s. And when I was 13, 15 years old, I started to get very interested in metal. Internet then wasn't really a thing. Cell phones were barely a thing either. So, for me to find new music and new bands, I had to save all money I could and go to my local record shop, browse the metal section and pick out a CD I thought looked interesting, purchase it, and then just hope for the best. And this is exactly how I ended up with a CD from the band Cradle of Filth. Even back then, I was never really a fan of Cradle of Filth, because I just listened to the CDs I had. Back then, I was kind of stupid. I am still very stupid, but I am not that stupid. When I was a kid, I didn't know the difference between death metal and black metal. I just thought that death metal was aggressive metal with blast beats, and that black metal was the same but with satanic lyrics.
Oh, no.
These days I know better. I promise, I do. But even back then, I couldn't really classify Cradle of Filth as death metal or black metal. I just thought they were just like another metal band. Until this very day, there is this debate about, is Cradle of Filth black metal? From my personal opinion, I say
No! Cradle of Filth is not black metal! No, 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 no!
Because if you look at their entire aesthetic, it is actually very gothic. I would label a band like Cradle of Filth as symphonic, gothic, horror metal. Because if you think about the gothic scene, it is kind of influenced by horror.
Vampires and blood!
And sure, you can maybe see a bit of connection between the horror elements and black metal, but gothic stuff is kind of like a romantic version of black metal. Goth isn't as brutal, raw and hateful as
Black metal
can be. If you were my neighbor and I heard you play
Cradle of Filth,
I would be happy to be your neighbor, because I would much rather have a neighbor who listens to
Cradle of Filth,
rather than having a neighbor who listens to gangster rap. I am
Satanen perkele.
and thank you so much for watching my video.